What's up guys, Harvick99 here, back with another video. This is a series of videos that I should have done a long time ago. It's December now, and these videos should have gone up months ago. But, you know, better late than never, am I right? Anyway, welcome to rating every 2024 Patriotic Scheme, Part 1, Trucks and Xfinity. Without any further ado, let's get into it. To start off, we have Dean Thompson's Patriotic, virtually unchanged from last year's Patriotic. There may be some slight variations, but I need to get this video done ASAP, so I'm not gonna bother to check whether it's the same scheme or not, but it looks more or less the same. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Memphis Villarreal's Patriotic. Never heard of this driver before. I don't know where he comes from, don't know what he usually races, but he raced in the Truck Series race at Charlotte this year. And his Patriotic is a rather bland one, just an American flag pattern in the middle of the truck, and that's it. But, I mean, I will give them points for trying. It looks pretty good. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Keith McGee's Patriotic. Now, this looks good. The American flag pattern is virtually the same as Villarreal's truck, but it's got more to it than that. It's got blue on the hood, red on the bed. This looks great. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Lane Riggs's Patriotic. This combines camo with the stars and stripes, and they executed it really well. I like this paint scheme. It's awesome. 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Bailey Curry's Patriotic. I see that they tried to do what Front Row Motorsports did with their Patriotic, combining camo with the American flag, but this just looks messy. Very messy. I'll give them points for trying, though. They were cooking something, but came out bland. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Caden Honeycutt's Patriotic, the better looking Nice Patriotic. Simple American flag design, but it's better than Bailey Curry's, I'll tell you that much. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Jeffrey Earnhardt's Patriotic. Hard to tell whether this is a Patriotic or not, because the quality of the image, it's a zoomed in photograph. So that's why it looks low quality. But on the nose of the truck, I can see traces of a camo pattern, which leads me to believe that this is a Patriotic. But since I can't really see the rest of the scheme that well because of the grainy quality, I'm just gonna go in the middle and give it a 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Stephen Parsons' Patriotic. Simple design on this one. American flag down the bottom, cropped American flag on the hood, and then the rest of the scheme is black. I like what they did with this one, and I like the white number with the red and blue outline. That's a really nice touch. Though I do wish they did more than just put some American flags on there. The black just... They can do away with the black. They could have used red or white or blue, and that would have made this scheme a lot better. But I'll give them points for trying. 6 out of 10. That does it for the truck series. Now moving on to the Xfinity series. First up, we have Jesse Love's Patriotic. This is the same Wheelin' Patriotic scheme that RCR has run in years past. They ran it with Sheldon Creed, and now they're running it with Jesse Love. It's just the Wheelin' primary, but with added blue and stars. But I like it. 7 out of 10. My rating's unchanged from last year. I gave it a 7 out of 10 last year as well. Next up, we have Garrett Smithley's Patriotic. The only semblance of patriotism on this paint scheme is the tiny American flag on the side skirt, which is very lazy. I get that they're a small team and all, but if you have the time and money to make a paint scheme like the one that you already ran, then why not just make a patriotic instead of just slapping a tiny American flag on the side skirt? Why I gotta be lazy? 0 out of 10. This isn't the only paint scheme that's like this. There's another one coming up, and it just boggles my mind why any team would do this. Next up, we have Patrick Emmerling's Patriotic. This I like. Way better than Garrett Smithley's Patriotic. I like how they have the little, I guess, whale, I want to say? I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's definitely some sort of creature. You see next to the contingency sponsors, you have the eye, and then you got the teeth, which extend all the way around the nose of the car. It reminds me of the Warthog paint scheme, the Warthog Air Force paint scheme that Bubba Wallace used to drive. It reminds me of that. And that, coupled with the stripes and then everything else, just make for a pretty decent patriotic. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Justin Allgaier's Patriotic. This, instead of being camo or red, white, and blue or incorporating the stars and stripes, is designed to look like a military vehicle. You know, with all the panels and the rivets, and then the stripes that I think are supposed to represent a military rank. I could be wrong on that, but that's my best guess. And this is something that this 7 team does every year. They stylize their paint scheme to look like a military vehicle, like I said, with the panels and the rivets, and it looks really cool. 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Hailie Deegan's Patriotic. This is literally just her airbox primary scheme, but with dark green replacing the blue. And the O in airbox has a camo pattern. And that's it. Really? This is the patriotic scheme you run for Memorial Day? How lazy can you be? 0 out of 10. If you're going to just modify your primary scheme to make it patriotic, then at least do a good job with it. Don't do this, because this is just lazy. Next up, we have Austin Hill's Patriotic. Oh boy, another bad patriotic. You got the gray stripes going down the side, a blue field with stars on the roof, and on the front bumper too, and then a gray and blue American flag on the hood. Not a single semblance of red on this car, except for the windshield banner. They should have taken some lessons from Jesse Love's scheme. Because if they did, then this might actually be a halfway decent patriotic, but instead, they did this. 2 out of 10. Next up, we have Dean Thompson's Patriotic. Dean Thompson makes 2 appearances in this video. It's not as good as his truck Patriotic, but it still looks pretty decent. I like it. 6 out of 10. Though I do wish they could have just run the same paint scheme as on the truck, but guess Sam Hunt Racing wanted to do something different. I mean, they use the same colors, but I guess they just wanted to do something different for the Xfinity paint scheme, which I'm totally fine with. But yeah, I prefer the truck scheme. Next up, we have Jeb Burton's Patriotic. They've been running this same American flag scheme for a couple of years now, and it never gets old. The entire paint scheme is just the American flag, and you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's not broken, so they have no need to change up the scheme. 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Parker Retzlaff's Patriotic. Unlike RCR, both Jordan Anderson Racing Patriotics are really good. It's a red, blue, and white pattern across the whole scheme. The Funkaway logo is red and white compared to the usual blue and green, and in the blue, I can see a camo pattern. It's very subtle, but if you're actually paying close attention, you can see that there's a camo pattern in the blue. So they combined camo with the red, white, and blue, that's always a welcome paint scheme design, combining patriotic elements to make something new. And they blew this one out of the park. 8 out of 10. I love it. Next up, we have Matt DiBenedetto's Patriotic. This just has an American flag going down the side and on the roof, which I won't knock them for. I really like the little American flag design they got going down the side. Good paint scheme. I like it. 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Jade Buford's Patriotic. I see Mike Harmon Racing took a page out of JD Motorsports' playbook. Instead of coming up with a compelling and creative patriotic scheme, they just decided to slap a tiny American flag on the side skirt. Yeah, nothing else I really got to say other than, why so lazy? 0 out of 10. And for our final patriotic of part 1, we have Josh Bilicki's Patriotic. This was surprisingly the only patriotic scheme that was run on July 4th weekend at Chicago. And it was one of the very few patriotics run that whole weekend, which came as a shock to me. In recent years, less and less patriotic schemes have been run on July 4th weekend, which is pretty disappointing. And DGM Racing knocked it out of the ballpark with this one, because it looks really good. I like it. 7 out of 10. That concludes part 1 of rating every 2024 patriotic scheme. What do you think? Do you think some of these should have been rated higher? Do you think some should have been rated lower? How would you rate these patriotics? Let me know in the comments below. Before I sign off, I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then I wish you happy holidays. And if you don't celebrate anything in the month of December, you must have a really boring life. If so, then I hope you have a delightful December, or rest of December. There's only 6 days left until the new year, so I hope you have a great rest of the year. Anyway, now, if you want to see more of me, be sure to follow all my socials, like my Twitter, my Instagram, my Threads, and join my Discord server. Links to all those are in the description down below. Leave a like on the video, and subscribe to my channel for more NASCAR content. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it for me. Peace.